They view sex magic as being a way to show your loyalty, your fidelity to the overall cause of Kush and Nimrod, or as they're known conventionally as Pan and Bacchus.
Daytime baseball here on MLB
So yes, the
Network.
vast majority of these top-level professional athletes are pansexual. They quote-unquote go both ways, whatever you want to call it. And most of the time, they end up engaging in orgies with many other people in the sports world and entertainment industry. They all cross over. The females who are straight, quote-unquote, are pressured into dudes who only have a daughter, and they decide, I'm going to take my daughter and raise her as if she was my son.
Ready to
I blame
deliver.
them
Here's
niggas
the
too.
first pitch.
All right, but let's get back to the topic.
Now a swing and a
This female
ground
here,
ball.
Angel McCarthy,
Gets
states
fouled.
that
It's
she
0-1.
believes that WNBA players should be getting paid as much as NBA players.
She's in a time right now, and we were trying to ask her,
She
she
to our
plays
leadoff
overseas
man
a
here
lot.
this
Why
afternoon.
she plays overseas? Does she like playing overseas? And that's when she got into a real issue. That the only reason she's going there is because she can't get a decent living here in the United States playing pro basketball.
And that's a lie. Many of these top-level WNBA players are getting six figures. Six figures, and they're making no money. The WNBA is losing money, and they're being kept afloat by the NBA because, once again, the NBA is a woke league, and they're using the WNBA to promote lesbianism amongst so-called black women.
Laid off.
That's the only reason why the WNBA is in
up in the
existence.
zone a lot right now.
And when that young lady,
can be
Candace
effective,
Wiggins,
but
came
I
out
think you have to
and
be
acted as a
careful with that,
whistleblower
especially
and
during a
stated
day
that the
game when the ball
WNBA
tends
has a
to
very
carry a
strong
lot.
lesbian subculture,
Really good
and
at-bat
that
here
many
from
of
the
the
leadoff
females
hitter
who
as
are
he'll force him
straight,
to
quote
throw
unquote,
another one.
are pressured into turning gay,
Into the windup,
homosexual,
ready
whatever
with
you
the
want to call it.
payoff pitch.
They tried to act as if she was
Pulls this
blowing
one
smoke,
high
like she
and
was
deep to
bitter,
right
like she was
center
crazy
field.
because the team didn't want to sign her, yada,
Leap
yada,
in the
yada.
wall, but he can't bring
But
this
it's
one
very obvious,
back.
and I
It's
tell you
a
guys this all the
home run.
time. When you get to that level in the
Standing in,
professional sports
Victor
world, they're all
Robles
dealing
will
with
get to take his
pansexuality.
first cuts here.
You have to deal with pansexuality to get to that
First
level
delivery to him
where
on the way.
they're going to quote unquote exploit
right
you
after him
or
with
let
a
you
fastball
shine
for a
or let
strike.
you garner attention
You know,
and
if I'm the
fame.
hitter right here, I'm like, okay.
That's just how that
You
goes.
want to
You
come
must
get some early
compromise
in the
yourself
count? I
in
was
that
about to
way.
wait you out, but now
They
game
do
on.
sex magic as being a way to show your loyalty, your fidelity to the overall cause of Kush and Nimrod, or as they're known conventionally as Pan and Bacchus. Alright? So yes, the vast majority of these top-level professional athletes are pansexual. They quote-unquote go both ways, whatever you want to call it. And most of the time, they end up engaging in orgies with many other people in the sports world and entertainment industry. They all cross over. Right? Allegedly. Let me throw that in there. Allegedly. Everything I'm saying is alleged, by the way.
She's upset about it. Said, what? You live in Russia, right?
First pitch was chopped foul, played at strike one.
I can't imagine. What was that like? I mean, it's something you guys have to.
Skied into straightaway right. Marte is under it.
Now, did you hear what she said? She said, pay us like you pay the men. And then she says, I don't want to get paid more overseas. Well, the reason why you get paid more overseas in the country is because they know that they cannot get the pro male players to come play over there. So the closest approximation are the female players. See, all around the world, they recognize the fact that the so-called black professional athlete, particularly the so-called black professional basketball athlete, is the greatest athlete in the world. So they know that they can't get the men because the men already make too much money over here in the States. So what they'll do is they'll pay the women to come over there. Because when they go overseas to Russia and China and these other nations, they're treated like gods. They're fed like gods. Because they venerate and they worship the so-called black athlete overseas. That is why they pay these females from the WNBA more money. And of course, you have other females that are quote-unquote non-black, like Diana Taurasi and many of these other famous athletes in the WNBA who also go overseas and get paid more. I understand that. But it truly is in veneration of the so-called black athlete and his and her mastery, particularly in basketball, which is a sport that the so-called black athlete is associated with worldwide more than any other sport. That's the main reason why they get paid more overseas. It's not necessarily because they view that the genders are more equal overseas. It's just that here in America they have the cream of the crop. of so-called black athletes. And they're making so much money for the professional sports leagues here that the male athletes have to be getting paid 9 figures if their player associations are on point and doing their job. Now, as far as the women's leagues are concerned, there is no union player representative that's ever going to get them paid because they're not making any money. Their leagues are not garnering enough money for these females to be getting paid wages commensurate to the men. That's just basic economics. So the fact that she would even broach that subject shows you that she has no understanding of how much money her league is making and the dynamic between the WNBA and the NBA, which basically is that the NBA is using the WNBA as a showcase league. That's all it's for. And as I've already stated, the main point of WNBA is to promote lesbianism.
There are 2 aboard now.
That's it.
So striding in, Nicholas Castellanos. As he'll look to bring home that tying run.
Well, that's not going to happen because really the WNBA should have been defunct years ago.
And a good idea to hold off on that swing. Bailey found success in his career in limiting base hits.
Let me say this. Whenever I see a female like this, I say to myself, what happened to her in her childhood? Or what happened to her the first time that she walked into an all-girls basketball locker room when she was 12 or 13 years old or 14 years old? What was she pressured into doing to feel more like she was part of the team? What lesbian predator encountered her in that locker room and quote-unquote turned her out? Because that is what happens to many of these little girls. And hopefully for a lot of you brothers who decide to allow your little girls to quote-unquote play basketball, that you're cognizant and aware of that. But a lot of you black men are liberal anyway, or pseudo-liberal, or that black woman is God bullshit. Y'all shit. Some of y'all are something else. Let me not throw everyone in the same pot, because there also are a lot of brothers out there who are astute and on point. But brothers, please recognize that when you don't try to accentuate the importance of the beauty of the woman to your daughter, the true beauty of the woman, and you make her think that she can do anything, go anywhere, and no one is going to try to attack her spiritually, that is when it's going to happen. So please keep that in mind.
Bat on its way.
Really? That is incredible to me that she is forced to
hard towards center.
Not enough people that
And
are
a base
watching
hit, so the leadoff man is Ward. Throw into
to me, it's
second.
very upsetting, very sad. This is
Thought about going for second, but instead, now they've got him in a pickle. And he's going to get to second now with nobody out. Taking in Anthony Rendon.
Just looking up Candace Parker,
First
she
pitch
makes a lot of
on
money
its
in
way.
China and in Euroball and Russia as well to get paid more.
Yeah, because they worship the so-called black athlete over there, but particularly the pro basketball black athletes. They get worshipped over there.
And that one stayed too low, apparently.
Just read about the statues that they built for Kobe and Michael Jordan over in China. Or how they know about Michael Jordan, even within the interiors of quote-unquote Africa, where they claim that the people don't have television and they're not aware of what's going on in the outside world.
In now, Brandon Crawford.
These people are viewed as gods, man.
They're saying they make around $1 million a year playing overseas, but here in the WNBA, the highest paid players are making around $100,000. Could you imagine Steph Curry, LeBron James, playing for $100,000 a year? I gotta be honest, that's a silly argument, though.
Thank you, sir. The little Caucasian man at the bottom left, he has a backbone in regards to this topic, so good for him.
I know I'm in the hitters' head. He was definitely sitting soft. I might speed him up and elevate him right now.
I agree with
Drilled on the right side, and that'll get on through into right field for a base hit. And on the play,
Thank you, sir. Now, did you hear what he said? The person in the bottom left-hand corner, he said it's a socialism. If we're going to pay everyone equally, no matter how much attention they're garnering, no matter how much the differentiation and disparity in their skill set and their athleticism. See, the person at the top left, the Caucasian dude at the top left, he is Exhibit A in regards to the liberal movement, what I talk about. Every time they choose research the so-called black civil rights movement or any movement involving demographics that have been allegedly disenfranchised in this society, it's always the Caucasian dude that's behind it, trying to champion the cause and acting as if he wants to be at the vanguard of change. And just pay attention to what's revealed at the end of this segment here about him. while he's talking about how the women should be getting paid equal to the men, and the only reason why they're not is because they're not getting the quote-unquote exposure. They're not getting the exposure because nobody wants to see them. It's not about exposure because when the first so-called black athletes came into the NBA, they were getting the least exposure. But because they were the best, and because they became the most marketable because of their natural physical charisma, that is when the corporations got behind them. It wasn't like they were trying to promote them. It was just that after a while, the greatness couldn't be denied. Now, when you're talking about these female athletes in the WNBA, no one wants to see them. Just like I don't sit down and watch high school basketball. I don't want to see a bunch of women running around with dreadlocks on, looking like the Grand Predator, bumping chest and trying to see who has bigger biceps and all tatted up around their neck, looking like Queen Latifah and set it off. Like, I don't want to see that shit.
The bottom line is that the interest is not there for the team.
Into the windup, here comes the 0-1.
Never let women fight in the UFC. There's no reason to blah, 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 all this stuff. That's what happened. He let women in.
Might have been cheap for another fastball trying to get the head to that one early. Pitcher pulled the string with a nasty breaking ball. Had a little bit out in front.
Yeah. He's doing great.
1-2.
And he put the machine behind them, and he's going out.
Swinging a soft liner.
The women in the UFC can really do the same
Plenty
thing.
of time to decide his retirement.
Bingo. Bingo. They can do the same things that the men can do. They just can't do it quite at the same level. And beyond that, once again, people will try to avoid the racial component. But one of the main reasons why Ronda Rousey became so big is because she was a Caucasian woman with blonde hair who they were able to sell as allegedly being attractive and sexy. Allegedly. I never saw that, but that is how they marketed her. That's how they marketed her. And she also happens to not be a quote-unquote lesbian. So that is how she was packaged. If Ronda Rousey was some bold gigantic broad, there's no way in the world that she ever would have become so big because they would not have been able to market her. Once again, the WNBA is never going to be big because the consensus perception about the WNBA is that they're all lesbians. And it's kind of obvious that that culture pervades that league. And then plus you're talking about so-called black women.
Fouled off.
They're not going to get behind marketing a bunch of masculine-looking so-called black women. And certainly not on the level of the male athletes in the NBA. This does not make any sense from an economic perspective. That is how you know and how I have deduced and how many other people have deduced that the only reason that the NBA has the WNBA is to push and promote lesbianism. What else could be the reason? Why are you holding on to a league for 20 plus years that makes you no money? If that's not the reason.
A guy that's up there with a plan and not just up there swinging at anything that you throw towards home plate.
Are they freak athletes or are they just freak looking?
He's just having a hard time putting this guy away. 4 foul balls in this AB. I don't think this pitcher has got something that he can get a swing and a miss.
I love women's basketball. The
There's a
reality
swing
is,
and a drive hit well out to right field. Marte going back on the warning track. He makes the catch.
And a lot of you brothers will remember
Digging in for his second
a very
at-bat,
popular
Victor
WNBA player named
Robles
Cheryl
was
Swoops.
a strikeout victim in his
And
first
she was
try.
relatively attractive. She came into the
Hit the other way
WNBA,
out toward
was
right
a great
field.
player, was quote-unquote heterosexual,
Marte
then
under it, and he
turned
makes the catch
homosexual,
for
and I put that in quotes, really got turned out into homosexuality / lesbianism, and then suddenly turned back into a heterosexual.
First pitch.
Why
on
is
its way.
that? Because she got adulterated by that culture, and then was able to eventually pull herself out of it because it wasn't satisfying her. That's why most of these quote-unquote lesbians are very depressed.
And that'll bring in Ken Griffey Sr.
Many of them were
Now the pitch.
harassed into becoming lesbians by that culture.
Started to go around there,
Or
but he
maybe
pulls up
they
ball
were
one.
adulterated by a man when they were a child. What they call molested.
Runs outside, so it goes to
Many of
2-0
them
now.
act out in that way against men
2-0
by
count,
turning to
pitch.
women. That's how you know that
Pitches popped up.
the concept, the ideology, the practice of
Rendon able to put it away,
homosexuality and
and that's out
lesbianism
number
is a
2.
mental issue.
Ready for
That
another
these people are not
chance.
getting help
Cesar
with.
Hernandez. He
Please
reached on a
name the
single in his
last
first
mental
try.
disease that they were able to cure. They're not able to
Good
cure many of
fastball
these
there from
diseases. They
Bailey as
can't
he
cure you
takes
if you're
charge,
bipolar. All
nothing
they
in
can
one.
do is give you a drug to sedate
He's
you.
looking really great on the bump right
To try
now.
to
I
calm
mean,
down
it's
that
been a while
aspect,
since he's
those
allowed a
demons that are
base runner,
attacking
and
that
he
person's
just jumped
mind and
ahead of
nervous
another
system.
hitter right
Same
there.
thing with
Throw on
what
to
they call
first, gets him, and the
homosexuality
side
and
is
lesbianism.
retired.
That's why I did a video a long time ago that was controversial called the Day
Digging in
Dream.
to try it again, Eric Karros.
I
He
believe
started out against
that there
Michael
is
Fulmer to
a
begin the inning.
homosexual researcher scientist named Dean Hamer who tried to prove that there's a
Line
daydream,
drive.
quote
That's going to be
unquote,
trouble.
that makes someone a homosexual or
Around first, he's
lesbian.
digging for
If I
second.
remember correctly, I have to read the research report again, but you guys can look it up. He alleged
And he'll
that
pull into second
he
here with
alleged
nobody out.
that there was
Stepping
a
in and
disparity
ready
in the
for
size
another
of the
shot. Number
hypothalamus gland
25. 0 for 1
from
for him here in this one.
homosexuals to heterosexuals, and then
Fastball
it
here
was
as he'll
found that
take
he
a look at ball
purposefully
1.
picked
1-0.
out brains that had an enlarged
The 1-0
hypothalamus
home.
gland to falsify his
1-1
report.
to count.
So it is what it is. That's
Karros
why you
on second
cannot
with
entirely
nobody
trust
out.
the scientific world, because once again, they have agendas.
And that
They
one
have
stayed
corporate
too low
backers.
apparently.
Most conventional scientists and the education system is backed by the Rockefeller Foundation, believe it or not.
And it's fouled away.
All right, but that's a whole nother video, whole nother topic for another day.
That's a fact. That's not an
2-2.
opinion. That's a fact.
And yes, it is a fact. And also, not just Dean
And
Hamer,
another
there's
foul
another one. I
ball.
believe that the scientist who did the research on the hypothalamus gland was named Simon LeVay. Yes,
High
I
in
believe
the
his
air
name is
into
Simon LeVay.
shallow
He's another
left center.
homosexual, by the way. You'll find that most of the scientists that are trying to prove a genetic
Castellanos
reason
is there and he makes the catch
for
for the out.
homosexuality are gay themselves,
And
quote
the
unquote.
daring move there pays off as he'll make it into third on the fly ball to left. So coming to the plate, Francisco Mejia, who scored a run after stroking a double in his first at-bat. Hit out on the ground to first, and that'll bring home run number 3. It's now a 3-0 cushion.
We're not talking about what they, we're talking about the product itself.
Coming to the plate now, Anthony Rendon. 1 in, 1 out, and 1 on here in the inning.
And there's got to be things to
Down
show
the third base
athleticism and the incredible
That's
power
through
of
for a
his
base hit, and he's
Oh,
1
no,
for
sir.
2 now.
And this guy's just acting right now, which is a shame,
And he'll
because
pull into second with
it
1
really
away.
only shows you how deceitful and
Runners are at
diabolical.
second and third here with only 1 away. And stepping in, the slick fielding shortstop, Brandon Crawford. And now a ball hit pretty well down that right field line. This has some carry to it, and it is gone. Home run. Next to hit will be the pitcher, Homer Bailey. He hit a sac fly earlier. He's ready. Here's the first offering. Fastball misses in the dirt as he tried to get him to chase the low one.